bloody.
There's worse things to have a manifesto about, to be fair.
You could be Ted Kaczynski. Yes, I agree. But
I don't know who that is.
It's the Unabomber. Do you know who the Unabomber is?
I know who John Krasinski is.
Do you know? Please tell me. Please tell me you know who the Unabomber is.
Kind of.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Common Ground Podcast, the podcast to come to for commons in the Pauper format. We are on episode 18. We got a pretty cool topic today, but first, I am your host, Cameron Schindler, joined by, as always, my other co-host, Thomas Gunn. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. How are you, bud?
Bad.
Oh, that's
It's okay. I look forward to this every week, though, as my highlight of the week.
Oh,
so there it goes. How are you, Hippo?
I'm also okay.
James
Cool.
is here too.
James is
also
here too.
here.
No
You have
Hippo fact.
Oh.
Wow.
I know.
Somebody's slacking.
Ooh, maybe someone sent one in, and we'll look at that towards the end of the episode. We're not. Anyway.
Seems like something we could have checked beforehand.
That'd be way too much preparation for us. Yeah. But we got an interesting topic. I've been one to complain about 8 Thraben Inspectors in these decks, so we thought we would tackle this core of 16 creatures. And usually people are playing 12 to 16 of these creatures in these certain archetypes we're alluding to, and it's just this white creature core that we've been seeing pop up lately with some good success, especially with the Glitters deck. Kind of started from there, and other people are like, all right, can we jam these creatures in other decks? But I keep talking about it, but not saying the creatures. Y'all want to
Sure, I'll go first. I'll start with my favorite in Core Skyfisher.
Core Skyfisher? Okay. Want to read it off?
Yeah, Core Skyfisher, Glint, Novice Inspector, and Thraben Inspector.
All right. I mean, what does Core Skyfisher do?
Sorry. So Core Skyfisher is a 1 and a white for a 2/3 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you return another permanent you control to your hand.
Cool.
Glint is single white for a 2/2 flyer. When it comes into play, you return an artifact you control to your hand. And both Thraben Inspector and Novice Inspector are both 1 mana 1/2s that when they enter the battlefield, they investigate.
So, like, they kind of come together in this aggro package, but also value, baby.
There's a lot of value.
Oh, yeah.
They, like, obviously, if you think about the synergy together, like, your baseline is, your Glint can just bounce the clue token if you really need it to just, like, get it into play. The core Skyfisher can pick up the inspectors to make more clues, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of different looping and stuff going on, and we'll kind of talk about all of the ins and outs. A place I kind of wanted to start is just the effect that having 8 copies of something unlocks for a format.
Is that Frank Carson who did that rule of 8?
I think so.
We'll get flamed again.
That's all right. We'll check.
We'll
add it to the notes.
But anyway, yeah, we could add it to the show notes. But we believe it was Frank Carson. He wrote this article, Rule of 8s. So for you to start really building your deck around something, it's important to have 8 copies of that effect in your deck to start seeing it very consistently in your opening hands. And it's not really these decks aren't built around Thraben and Novice Inspector. It's just that they're 1 mana 1/2s that put a trinkety artifact into play.
Yeah.
So it works for aggressiveness, and it kind of works for mid-range, because at the worst, if you're playing a mid-range game and you start top decking, Thraben and Novice almost become a redraw. Mm-hmm. Like, it never feels bad to draw them late in the game. At least
and it's something to be said that we have had kind of similar effects. Like Voldaren Epicure is the equivalent to these Inspector creatures in red, where it's the 1 mana 1/1 that makes a blood token, and it also pings your opponent for 1. But a blood isn't just a card. A blood is card selection, because you have to discard a card and draw a new card, which is fine in, like, the red decks and the aggro decks, where you're trying to just get the particular cards you need to just cross the finish line. But in decks where this white core of creatures are, they're trying to grind out as much value as possible. So actually having the clue be a real card is way, way better than something like a blood token.
Agree. And for those who don't know who clues are, they're a artifact that the inspectors make, like Hippo said, and you can pay 2 generic, 2 colorless, sack it, draw a card.
Yes.
Not the best rate for a card, but when it's stapled on,
free. It's free on a one mana creature.
And it's not really about the clue itself. More of it could be an artifact that does nothing, and it would still be okay. Obviously, sacking it to draw a card is awesome, but really, it's getting that count up for these all that glitters decks.
That's one application for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's just one of many that we're seeing take over the Pauper world. I don't know if we want to talk to play patterns too much about it.
I think we can get into that once we talk about the specific decks. I wonder if there's any other examples of, at least in the Pauper format, where we got to 2 play sets of a similar effect in order to make something more consistent. I think probably the closest thing to that would be like the red.
I think there's a lot of examples.
Like I think there are old examples like Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning are like fairly close.
I would say Lightning Bolt, Galvanic Blast for that.
Galvanic, yeah.
I would say the artifact lands.
Okay, yep.
Frogmite and Mirror Enforcer. We see a deck build around those.
That's fair.
All the like 2 mana trinket artifacts.
The Deadly Dispute effects.
That was another one I was going to bring up. The Deadly Dispute effects, because we got that. We have Fanatical Offering now. We have the Reckoner's Bargain.
Sure.
The one that sacks and gains life. Yeah.
I never know the names of them.
I know. And then the other one I was thinking of is the Ren's Resolve and Reckless Impulse. Mm-hmm. Because those, the 2 impulse draw effects in red.
And I think a really big one that boosted the archetype completely up was Cryptic Serpent being printed after Tolarian Terror.
Ooh, getting the downshift.
Mm-hmm. And that made mono blue a real thing.
That's fair. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, there's tons of these. There's lots of them. They're littered all over the format. It's good.
Yeah, so it makes sense that once we got Novice Inspector, Cameron, excluding Cameron's opinions, it just made sense to just kind of jam all 8 copies and see where the dice land. I don't know if there's an expression there, but
see where the dice land.
I don't know.
I like it, though.
I'm running on fumes today.
I'm running on fumes.
Play things as they lie.
Yeah.
Having multiple copies of redundant effects of cards usually helps boost things along, if you will.
And though I'm low on the 8 inspectors, because we'll talk about it more later, I feel like they can just start feeling clunky and could gunk up your turn so much where it's like, man, I'm kind of like digging for the thing I need to dig for, but I'm spending 2 mana for 1 card a turn to dig for that thing. And it's like they start getting outclassed soon when there's a lot of decks that put something bigger than a 1-2 and play pretty fast. So all of a sudden your attacks don't look so good. But on the other hand, Glint and Core Skyfisher, they're beatdowns.
Yes.
Like there's not a ton of other flyers going around Pauper. Normally the other flyers you see are other Glint and Core Skyfishers. And I guess the Murmuring Mystic tokens we're seeing a lot of too lately. But these get in. I think these are your real damage doers and start the clock going. And with that, they have the opportunity to give you more value and almost pseudo draw you more cards. Like we've talked about why we love Pauper so much. It's because it's a dinky, trinkety little format where I play Experimental Synthesizer and it's so much value because in turn 3 I can pick it up with Glint and hit my land drop or go off crazy and hit a Limbus or another Experimental Synthesizer.
They're another good example of like 8 copies of a similar effect in that they don't do the exact same thing, but they do similar enough things in the right decks, which is where we'll point out with the different the 3 primary decks that we're going to talk about and how they interact with these different effects. Because the flyers, like in some of the decks, I think one is slightly better than the other depending on what the rest of the makeup of the deck looks like.
And I agree, it just varies on what the deck is.
Correct. Do we want to talk about the decks that these packages are like most popular in currently?
Let's go with enemy number 1. Public enemy number 1. Let's start.
Boggles.
I don't know that I've ever seen a Thraben Inspector in Boggles.
Put an enchantment on it. Start attacking.
Can't say I have. Anyways,
6 ya.
It's not so dinky.
Let's start with the one that has 12 of the 16 in blue-white glitters. We'll start there.
Mm-hmm. You say glitters in general? I guess they're different.
Well, they're different. They're different. We'll go blue-white affinity glitters.
Mm-hmm. What's it not playing then? If
It's
playing
not.
12 to
So it's
16?
not playing core Skyfisher.
And why is that? We think.
It's 2 mana instead of 1. Honestly, literally, I think it's 2 mana instead of 1.
And like there's not really non-artifacts that you're dying to pick up anyway.
Correct.
Like, there's no point of picking up on all that glitters. And really, what's the Glint Hawk picking up usually?
The Glint Hawk's going to pick up like free cards, generally like
Clue tokens,
or Mirror Enforcers or things of that nature.
a Spring Leaf Drum.
Yeah.
I've played games with this deck where it's just like I had a drum, a 0-drop, played Glint Hawk, tap the Glint Hawk, make a mana, pick up the Glint Hawk, play the Glint Hawk.
Yeah.
Or the Spring Leaf Drum. I said that very wrong. You get the idea.
Yeah, we get the idea.
Hopefully, if not, I'm sorry. But Hippo and I, we played a little bit of games with these the other week with blue-white glitters, and we played it, I think, against Jeskai Ephemerate and Synthesizer and Ponza.
Yeah.
We didn't do too much Ponza because we found that to be very one-sided on the glitter side.
Turns out,
but
not good.
This is the deck where I find myself, especially against the slower decks that can kind of start once they get control. It feels like they have full control. So like Jeskai Ephemerate, and I imagine it feels similar against Gardens, where these Thraben Inspectors were just really clunky, and it's like I had other stuff in my hand that wasn't part of my game plan, like put glitters on a creature and suit up. And the Thraben Inspectors, it felt very clunky to play 1 and pay 2 to draw a card and hopefully dig for my answers while you just keep stabilizing slowly. And as soon as you played Augur Bolus, which is just a 1/3, you started stonewalling 2 of my Thraben Inspectors, and then you played another creature and another creature. It's like, okay, now I don't have good attacks.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to talk too much about glitters itself because we're trying to figure out the core of this package.
Correct.
And I think in those kind of matchups, like Glint Hawk shines more than the Thraben Inspectors. And I think the 8 Thrabens are good in this package because you are an affinity deck still, and you want to make those trinkety artifact tokens as well as going wide.
Yeah, like I said, it also just has the application of those 1-drops are good bodies for glitters. They're a non-artifact body for glitters to attach onto.
I also want to quickly point out, just skimming through some of the glitters lists from the challenge finishes that we're going to talk about later. I'm not actually seeing Glint Hawks in the Glitters Affinity lists too much anymore.
Oh wow!
I know they were originally, but with the adoption of 8 Inspectors, I think that's one of the options that's been pushed out. I guess there's some debate whether you actually want all your Ornithopters. You could play a couple Glint Hawks there or whatever, but I think with things like leaning on Ornithopter Moon Circuit Hacker, and which is the blue enchantment creature ninjutsu creature, I think that you just end up wanting more stuff with more proactive and grindy enter the battlefield abilities. So you just like pick up your Inspectors and replay them, and the Glint Hawks can probably get a little awkward in that spot. As much as it is a flyer for your glitters, you also have like Ginger Brutes and Ornithopters you can put it on.
That makes sense. And I think they're going away from the Glint Hawk too because it's just not as good in the non-red affinity decks.
Yes.
Like when you're not picking up, spoiler alert, Experimental Synthesizer and other decks, it's just like the ceiling becomes so much lower. When I played that deck, it didn't feel like I was playing Glint Hawk to its fullest potential either.
Yeah.
When I still had the version that had Glint Hawk in it.
Yeah, I think, Glint Hawk in the glitters list gets way better if you have Synth. Otherwise, it's probably just the Inspector package we're going to see in these top-level lists. Because, you could, I guess, attack with a Mirror Enforcer, play Glint Hawk, pick it up, basically recast the Enforcer. It just kind of gave it vigilance. Without Synthesizer, there's a ton going on there, but the Jeskai lists are still around, and they're still kicking, so.
And I guess that's an excuse to talk about the Jeskai list. I don't know if there's too much other to say. And besides, your game plan shifts from, I guess you're still playing the 8 and Thraben Inspectors in some lists, and you just lean a little bit more into these Glint Hawk and Core Skyfisher. Sometimes the Core Skyfisher is a one of, I've seen some, because you play this Experimental Synthesizer, and you want to mostly hit 1 and 2 drops with that. You want to like turbo through your synthesizers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know some lists are playing Rin's Resolves, and I guess like that might be a thing of the past. Might be a little slow on that one.
Yeah, it seems a little slow.
Alrighty.
Yep. All right, moving on to our next white core creature archetype.
You looking at me?
Yeah.
Is it Boros Synthesizer?
It sure is. Let's go to Boros Synthesizer.
Yay! 1 point for Cameron. 1 point.
So this one takes advantage of the full 16. We get all four of them in the deck on this one. Shave some numbers where you will, I suppose, if you're Cameron.
All 4 play sets, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this one uses all 4 play sets. Synthesizer, it's a deck we've talked about at length before. The Boros Synth deck in particular. We've talked about it in length before. It's just a nice little value-oriented deck that has like a nice in-game finisher with being your 2 flyers, and then you have a bunch of burn spells in your deck.
And this is a deck that we've seen it be a little, not controversial, debated whether or not it should be an 8 Thraben Inspector deck or not, because for a while it became one. I like to think I caused it not to become one. Probably not at all. But we saw some lists from like Pauper and like the following challenges that week and stuff where people were top 8ing those challenges without 8 Thraben Inspectors. And I think this deck doesn't need 8 Thraben Inspectors because you do such a good job at turning through your deck already, and you have so many better targets to pick up with your core Skyfishers and Glint Hawks. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the worst thing you can pick up with a core Skyfisher in this deck. Besides a land.
I was going to say, some of them are
besides something without an enter the battlefield ability,
yes.
I think.
I was going to say
Boros Garrison.
I was sure. Well, that has enter the battlefield ability.
I know, that's why I said it.
That's really bad. Some of those lists are starting to play Seeker the way now as well.
Yeah, and I like the Seekers there more than the 5th and 6th Thraben Inspectors, just because
you're getting to turn these on a lot more often because you're being able to bounce your trinket artifacts like Synthesizer and your Ichor Wellsprings or Limbus or whatever.
And I don't think you need the 8 Inspectors for the clues because you already play 4 Thraben Inspectors, some copies of Limbus, some decks are still on Ichor Wellspring with the makeshift munitions. You're playing the 2-mana Bar Battle Fist. It's a 4 Mirrodin, so it makes a 2/2 and with equipment auto attached to it. So you just have all of these good things to pick up, and you're churning through your deck. And your Glint Hawks and core Skyfishers, I feel like they feel the most powerful in this shell, and in a little less than the Orzhov Blade shell, which we'll get into later. But I feel like they're most powerful in this shell because that's how you're getting in your damage for the most part.
I do think this is the most powerful shell for this particular suite of creatures.
And we've seen versions. We've talked about it. They've played, it's almost a Boros Synthesizer, all that glitters version.
That's actually the de facto right now.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen some without too, but they'll cut some copies of cards that I cannot think of because I don't have the 2 lists in front of me, and they'll play the glitters instead, but they're not super heavy in the affinity. We don't see like Mirror Enforcers, just like the all that glitters.
This is a value deck that you're gaining tempo by just being able to leave open glitters as an option available to you, and that your opponent has to play around it for the entire game. And if you never have to put a glitters on a creature, it means you're probably winning the game. It just means you've gotten all this damage in without having to put a glitters on the battlefield.
That's fair enough.
It takes use of stuff like Wedding Invitation in that vein, where you can just blink it and just return it and replay it with Skyfishers and Glint Hawks just to draw cards until that point where, oh, here's my glitters, and crack the Wedding Invitation, boom, it's unblockable, you're dead.
Yep. In post-board games too, if you're playing against Synthesizer, you're bringing in Blue Blast or Red Blast, whatever Blue Blast. I always get confused which one does what. And this is something that dodges Blue Blast, especially if you put it on a Thraben Inspector or a Glint Hawk or a core Skyfisher. So hard to beat that. And it dodges.
The only red creatures I think they're generally playing is just the Rebel token that Barbed Batterfist makes.
They bring it in for Synthesizer, of course, and all that fun stuff. But
maybe a Kark Clan Shaman, depending on what their board looks like.
Spicy.
But if you're blue blasting that, then
and
rough day.
We've talked about Synth being like secretly a burn deck before. So, and Hippo likes to call all that glitters a fireball, or just
it's
fireball your face.
Literally a fireball.
And so, if this is a burn deck and you're fireballing your face, these Glint Hawks and core Skyfishers, this is how you start the chip damage. You start chipping them for 2 and 4 and 6. Then you're looking at a bolt and a blast in your hand. It's like, okay, whatever. Say they're at 12. My opponent doesn't know it's secretly -7 and they're at 4.
Yeah,
quick maps.
That's
it was wrong.
And that's why like as soon as they know you have the glitters available to you, then they are losing tempo every turn by not being able to do anything. Like they have to remove these dinky creatures, or they just let these dinky creatures stay in play, and then you like never cast this glitters, and they're like, oh crap, I just died because I was never able to kill any of these creatures because I was so afraid of the glitters at any point.
And it can force them to never tap out and develop their own board.
Exactly. And then you're just getting to do your little trinkety artifact thing that the synth deck does.
And say you do have a couple Glint Hawks or Core Skyfishers on the battlefield, and they have mana open, and you have a Thraben Inspector too, and you suit up your Thraben Inspector with all that glitters, and they have to cast down the Thraben Inspector.
You feel
That
great.
feels bad.
Yeah, cool. You 2-for-1 me, but I have a clue.
Yeah,
We're
and
basically
I'm
a parody.
I was like, oh, I'm up a mana.
And we're a parody.
Yeah.
And you have these 2 flyers or 1 flyer, and that's still getting in there.
Yeah, so the card, or in this particular shell, all the glitters, is super tempo card on these little dinky flyers and ground dudes.
And Hippo, I know that you're really into this deck, just like me. So, if you would pick up this deck and say you played it next month, would you play?
By the way,
would you? I guess I guess this isn't a glitters conversation.
No.
So would you play 8 Thraben Inspectors?
Likely, yeah. I would likely just play 8 Inspectors. I'll probably just assume that I play this deck next month, because I think that's probably what I'm going to play. I would just play 8 Inspectors, because I've not actually gotten to do that yet, as I said I would. Mm-hmm. So that would be a great opportunity for me to do that.
This is true. Another deck we had coming up, similar to Borgo Synth, but not at all, because it doesn't have Synthesizer in it. It's Orzhov Blade.
This is a Cameron special.
I do like this deck. So we're still playing. Man, I've seen lists all over the place with this 12 to 16 creature package, or sometimes 8 to 16 in this case creature package, like in one of the challenges coming up. But instead of the Synthesizer that you're utilizing your Glint Hawks and Core Skyfishers with, you're using Tithing Blade, and you still have the colorless ones like a Limbus, Ichor Wellspring, but also an enchantment that Core Skyfisher can pick up, an Omen of the Dead, which is 1 black when it enters a battlefield. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. It has flash, and for 2 and a black, you can sacrifice it and scry 2.
I remember the first time I saw that particular enchantment was actually in the 4-color Gates deck, like the Ephemerate Gates deck.
Yeah,
because that deck was
we loved that stuff.
Yeah, that deck was playing Core Skyfishers in its deck, so it was really easy to pick that card back up. Super sick.
We've talked about that loop before. You don't play the Omen of the Dead until there's a Core Skyfisher in your graveyard, and then you can end step, flash it in, pick up Core Skyfisher. Then when it's your turn, you don't play the Omen of the Dead again until a Core Skyfisher dies, because once it's in the graveyard again, you can play the Omen of the Dead, pick up the Core Skyfisher, and if you have another Core Skyfisher, you can play the new Core Skyfisher, pick up the Omen of the Dead, and then here we go again.
That's what we in the business call stonks.
Big time stonks. And it's really hard for some decks to beat that package. So this is another deck I was very confused on why the 8 Thraben Inspectors are here, because I just don't feel like this is what the deck wants or needs, because you're already weak to Drown in Sorrow. So
I will say this. I think this deck is obviously the slowest of the 3 that we've talked about thus far.
Oh, for sure. Very.
It's the slowest of the 3.
Very
that
much.
lends itself to that being good. The Inspector effects being just good. Like, you're getting these dudes that are going to get in for, a couple points here and there, maybe, and then you've got these random cards laying, just like pieces of cardboard theory here. Mm-hmm. You've got these random pieces of cardboard just laying on the table, and you're able to just use it at any point if you ever need to gas back up again.
And I feel like this is a mana hungry deck, though.
Oh, very much so.
And when it's turn 3 and 4, I don't want to be playing Thraben Inspectors, even though they can cycle themselves for 2. That's just not, I guess, 3, because you have to cast it first.
Yeah.
I'm okay with having one on turn 1 or playing one on turn 2, but I want to start developing my board in a different way. I want to start getting in with Core Skyfishers, picking up Tithing Blades, making you sack your stupid terrors, stuff like that. Or Omen, or Hopeless Nightmare.
Yes, that's a sweet one.
Some decks have been moving away from that. That's 1 black when it enters the battlefield. Target or each opponent loses 3 life and 2
life and discard a card.
Yep, and it has some sack scry text too.
Scry too.
And to note too, that in Omen of the Dead, only Core Skyfisher can pick up, because Glint Hawk only picks up.
It's my
artifacts. In I guess the Inspectors make a little sense of a deck, as in this deck's lighter on artifact synergy than the other decks. So Glint Hawk can start picking up not so great targets.
Yeah, this is the weakest of the three Glint Hawk decks, I think.
I agree.
Maybe it's still incredible with like Tithing Blade, but it's like this is not the most aggressive deck. Like this is a lot slower, obviously, as I just mentioned. So you're not looking to like get the game over with in a hurry necessarily, because you've got such an incredibly powerful late game engine, as like you mentioned with like core Skyfisher picking up the Omen of the Dead. Like that is an incredibly powerful in game engine that a lot of decks can't handle in game one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think this one lends itself to being a little bit slower, and I think this is probably where the actual 8 Inspector package actually I think is the best of the three thus far.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one, James. I think it's due to the speed of this deck. It wants to just kind of gum up the ground. Like whenever I've had it in my hands when we've just played pickup games, like I've been super happy to just like play an Inspector, just like crack a clue. If that's my turn 3, like that's also totally fine with me, because the more cards I see, the more stuff I just like rectangle theory from like Brothers War Limited or whatever, just get a bunch of stuff onto the battlefield, and eventually I'll have enough stuff to cobble together a win or survive to get to the point of inevitability at some point.
Yep.
And I think that's where having just as many of those as possible just to gum up the works, I think that's where all 8 of them is best.
Yep, I would agree.
Sorry, Cameron.
No, it's okay. That's what's great. We have different opinions. This would be really boring if we just agreed with each other and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just hate that it opens you up to the weakness you're already weak to, and like Drown in Sorrow and other like Fiery Cannonade and stuff like that. And
I think that also depends on what build of the deck you're also playing, because that deck specifically has a really wide open on what you can do with it. Like it's got more options available to it as like what's like, because there's no like correct way to build the deck.
No, we see different variations.
There's different
all the
variations of
time.
the deck, especially after what we see this from the challenges this weekend. We'll talk about in a bit, but that deck has more flexibility to it, and I think that lends itself to not any one of our opinions being necessarily correct.
Yeah,
I think it's weird too that like the better Thraben Inspector gets or the most played it gets, the more Thraben Inspectors there are around to block it, and the worse it gets as an attacker.
that's also fair.
But the better it gets as a blocker.
I mean, it's still, it's just gumming up the ground. To your Drown in Sorrow point, I think if I'm playing the Orzhov deck and my opponent has brought in or kept in Drown in Sorrow,
That is
I
a
think
win.
I'm ecstatic about that.
I
Because
would agree.
I don't really care if they blow up all my 1/2s. They were there to make a clue and draw a card.
That's fair enough.
Maybe I'll bounce them, but like, Drown in Sorrow doesn't kill my core Skyfishers. I can just get a bunch of stuff back out of the graveyard.
Yeah.
I
And
don't think Drown in Sorrow is like
That
the end
Omen
all
of the
be all.
Dead is usually a 1 of or a 2 of.
Yeah.
So it's always not even backup plan B.
No.
You could play more too. Like
Yeah.
I could see playing a couple, like 2 copies at least.
Yeah, it's just an option afforded to you, as I said earlier. This deck is super flexible. It has a ton of options to it, and you can build it however you want to, however good or bad you want your core Skyfishers to be or your Glint Hawks to be, and that's up to you.
I've been looking for a list pre other whatchamacallit.
Pre-Novice Inspector.
Yeah, so
Oh.
at this point I think it would have been easier
Some
just to go grab my deck and look at it.
Probably.
Because I'm trying to remember like what it cut. The clear one.
All the way over.
Yeah.
This one.
Maybe. I have like 6 core Skyfisher decks, so
That's fair. It's a good card.
Yeah, there's swamps in here.
cool. Oh, decks are cutting Hopeless Nightmare.
Right.
So, like, we're seeing Hopeless Nightmare over the Thraben Inspectors. We're seeing less prismatic strands as well.
So there's
Interesting.
putting more pieces of cardboard on the board.
And you're almost, I guess, mono red's on the downswing for sure. So, like, you're definitely worse against mono red, which I think is fine. But I think you're also worse against,
I don't know. Putting a bunch of 1/2s into play the block seems pretty good.
Yeah.
I guess.
You're probably still just fine against mono red because of all the 1/2s.
But then, like, just Tithing Blade's not insane against mono red either, because it's just like, cool, cast my 1/1 or sacrifice my 1/1. But
Yeah, but their 1/1s don't matter anyway. So
Yeah.
'cause you're blocking them with your 1/2s.
hopefully. But anyway, I feel like you're weaker to more. What's the word? Why can't I think of the word? Linear. There we go.
More linear strategies.
More linear strategies because you don't have like the Hopeless Nightmares and just against decks like Cyclestorm or Dredge or whatever that just don't really care what's going on your side of the battlefield. I kind of liked having of a shred your hand game plan. To be fair, that's way more fun than playing 4 more Thraben Inspectors too.
I think if I were to play the deck, I would keep the Hopeless Nightmare package and still play all the Inspectors.
It just starts getting hard to...
I would trim on Prismatic Strands. I'd put them in the board. I would trim on, maybe put some Snuff Outs in the board too.
Again,
get an Omen of the Dead in there.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This deck has a ton of flexible options.
Oh,
yeah. Some people aren't playing Thorn of the Black Rose and stuff like that. So it's just like this deck is kind of all over the place, and we see very different iterations of it all the time. And nobody's in agreement on these 12 to 16 creature packages that people are playing.
Right.
There are haters out there.
Now let's move on to another 12 creature package in the White Weenie deck.
A little less seen, but still very much a player in the metagame. Had like a reasonable finish last weekend, I believe.
Yep. Or weekend before. Right?
Yeah, something like that.
So this deck's probably using the Thraben Inspectors.
This definitely plays 8 Thraben Inspectors.
As the most aggro.
Yeah. Well, no, this is not the most aggressive of the
traditionally,
decks.
I think it's the most traditional aggro.
Using Thraben Inspectors.
Oh, sure.
As the most
yes.
aggro.
Yes, I would agree with those. I would agree with that. Yes.
So what creatures?
It's not playing Glint Hawk. It can't afford to play Glint Hawk.
There's no. This is very aggressive. There is no.
The only artifacts would be the clue tokens. I think.
Yeah, your artifacts are clue tokens.
And besides those clue tokens, there is no backup. This is where I get grindy game plan.
Your grindy game plan comes from in that deck, like things like Rafine's Informant and Battle Screech and things of that nature. But those are not
for ones.
Yeah, it's like
Militia Bugler.
Militia Bugler. But and Militia Bugler picking up an Inspector is not a terrible thing either. But this deck does get a good amount of value out of core Skyfisher as well. As Thomas just said, we have the Militia Bugler, we have the Rafine's Informants, we have all the Inspector effects, we have there's another one I'm blanking on. I can't think of it. Anyways,
content.
Anyways, this deck's also not too. Idyllic Grange.
Ooh, yeah.
Idyllic Grange. This one picks up Idyllic Grange pretty well. That's the card.
That's cute.
Do you know what Idyllic Grange does, Cameron?
Enters battlefield, tap, put a +1/+1 counter on creature.
If you control 3 or more planes.
Oh, from the Eldraine cycle.
Yeah. Yep. I played this in a Pioneer deck.
Totally wasn't in front of me.
Yeah, I did.
that old busted Pioneer deck.
Yeah, that deck that I was told was not good.
Okay.
Anyways, so there's like this deck is definitely the most aggressively slanted version of the deck, or of the the package we'll call it. I like this. I think it lacks, obviously not having other colors, it lacks a lot of reach and things of that nature, but it's not a bad choice. I think this is a really good Prismatic Strands deck.
For sure. So I think we talked about this deck a little bit last week or the week before, but this deck, it's still easy to gum up, if an opponent gets a 0 mana 4/4 that starts blocking or something. But the way you get through that is with
Guardian's Pledge.
Exactly.
Yeah, 1 white instant. All white creatures you control get +2/+2
until end of the turn.
Cool. You can also play another sweet card for 3 and a white, and you can tap an untapped white creature instead of paying its cost. It's called Remosian Rally. All your creatures get +1/+1.
And you have the Journey to Nowheres, of course, to
the de facto white removal spell and pop
exactly, just to clear the way if something is
also not a bad
too gummy
core Skyfisher target,
especially if you take out a token creature.
That's always fun.
Yeah,
feel big brained. That happens.
Yep. It's another sweet deck with this little package of creatures.
So we talked about this package of the decks that's currently seeing, and kind of how they're utilizing them in different ways, in where it's more aggressive, less aggressive, all that fun stuff. So why aren't some of these decks in the meta playing it that are white? So why isn't Coggates playing 8 Inspectors? Why isn't Jeskai Ephemerate, the Blink deck, playing 8 Inspectors?
So neither of those are particularly aggressively leaning decks. They also have card advantage built into them. They don't need Inspectors. They have actual blue card draw. Both of those decks that you just mentioned, both of them have blue card draw.
But so does Blue White Glitters.
That's a different way of going about it, because those take into play with creatures being in play.
Thraben Inspector turns those on too. Both of one mind and
Thoughtcast. Yeah. So you can say it's and all those other blue cantrips are either going to be a creature later in the case of Modern Age, so it also loots away things like prismatic ending or prismatic strands, and it's just slower. I mean, obviously the decks are trying to be slower, and they're not trying to like attack with a 1/2, like a naked 1/2. They're trying to attack with a 1/1 with lifelink that you've pumped up to a 6/6 or a 7/7. With your Basilisk Gate in the case of Gates, or in the Ephemerate side, you're not trying to like put.
Not really trying to attack at all.
Attack at all until you just, I don't know, win the game.
And Augur, we talked about Augur Bolus and that sees more cards. You play a lot of instant sorceries for Augur to grab.
More.
And you can ephemerate it and stuff. That's just a better blink target than Thraben Inspector because you don't get that reward immediately.
Especially in the decks where you're trying to find specific pieces. Like you're trying to ephemerate, in Jeskai Ephemerate especially, you're trying to put together specific like combo pieces to assemble the lock, etc., etc. It's part of the reason why, in my mind, I think of like Kagates and Ephemerate as blue decks rather before I think of them as white decks, because they have this core and engine of like Lorien Revealed, counter spells, draw spells, and like it's supplemented by white creatures. Like Ephemerate also has some of white spells in like the Ephemerates,
Union of the Third Path.
Some Union of the Third Path,
Journey to Nowhere, and
Kagates. Journey to yeah.
Blue doesn't have the best removal.
The Squadron Hawks themselves in Kagates, Sacred Cats, like things like that. Like there are like white cards that are elements of these, but I think primarily they're blue-based strategies.
Yeah, I would look at these as blue decks before I look at them as white decks as well.
So if one blue, 1/2, ETB Investigate, would that not be played in these blue decks, you think? It'd probably just make glitters better.
I mean, it makes specifically glitters probably fine. I don't know that you would play 12 of them. That's probably.
Where do we draw the line? Maybe 8.
Probably at 8.
I think eight's the sweet spot. Like at some point you're over redundant to the point you're hurting yourself.
Yeah, maybe 8 Thraben Inspectors and 4 Spyglass Sirens if it ever gets down.
I was about to say they already gave us blue Thraben Inspector, but it's not. But it's illegal to play.
Yeah, kind of weird they did that. Like they made all these other ones like 1 mana, make a trinket, common, and they made that one uncommon.
They made Prosperous Innkeeper uncommon in green.
What set's that from?
That's from AFR.
Yeah, it's 2 mana though.
Right, but you can't have a green 1 mana creature that makes a treasure.
Yeah, that'd be kind of messed up.
One mana creature that makes a treasure.
1 mana creature that makes a food.
That would be wild.
Like 1 green, 1/2 ETB make a food. Trample.
There's a mana dork that already makes a food. We already have Gilded Goose.
Not common. Okay, anyway, this is getting derailed really fast.
No, I think about this like cycle. Like, is this a cycle of like Thraben Inspector, Spyglass Siren, maybe the 1 mana 1/1 zombie from AFR? The like when it dies, you either give something -1/-1 or make a treasure.
That's reaching.
That is reaching. And then you have Epicure, and then you have to go up to 2 mana for Prosperous Innkeeper.
I think your closest one is
you're grasping at straws.
I think your closest one at common is Vandalia or Epicure. That one.
Yeah,
that's your closest other common of like of a
anyway,
quote cycle.
This is what my brain does when I'm driving around Nashville all day.
Obviously, we've highlighted some card, where this package is good. It's the top of the format. It's like the top 2 decks of the format. It's sitting right there. It's obviously very good. You should play them. They're good. I've been playing Core Skyfisher since I've been playing this format.
Yeah, Core Skyfisher
like almost 10 years ago. So you'll have to pry that one from my cold dead fingers.
Don't recommend 8 Thraben Inspectors. It's just me though. So you do you. Keep putting up results and proving me wrong, or keep putting up results with 4 and
prove you right.
Sometimes, yeah. But
some of them do. Yeah,
exactly. Shall we just move on to challenges? Y'all got any closing thoughts on this 12 to 16 white creature package?
It's good. Play it.
Yeah, they're good. They're good cards. They're seeing play for a reason. Part of it is because all the glitters is busted, and these are really good support pieces.
Like 2 of these.
All the glitters. I wonder if there's a white-black glitters deck you could put together.
Only time will tell.
Where do you get your card advantage from?
From like Deadly Disputes.
Your card advantage, Inspector.
Yeah, like 3 and
dun, dun,
8
dun.
Inspectors.
Yeah, I guess that's better because you can sack the bad creatures to Deadly Dispute and actually turn them into something useful.
Leave the clue behind, so it
like a
counts towards
treasure
glitters.
and 2 cards is way better than A 1-mana 1/2.
Oh man, you have a blocker.
I
Here's this.
agree with that. Yes.
Oh, you have a blocker for
I'd
my.
still
for-
play 8 inspectors.
Oh, you have a blocker for my glitters creature. Here's a snuff out.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, you're trying to put a glitters on creature after I glitters you?
Nah,
Snuff out.
fam.
Yeah.
Ooh, now we're brewing.
Might step away from this brew. Y'all are tainting my beloved deck. More than it's already getting tainted.
Okay.
With 8 inspectors.
Shall we move it to the Pauper challenges?
Let's do it.
We got
go.
3 of them this weekend.
We got 3. We got 3 to talk about.
All right. What's the first date?
We've got Saturday, March 30th. We've got 60 players in the 32 minimum challenge. In 8th place, Tyrube 1618 on Cycling Storm. In 7th place, Brivenex on Is It Fairies. In 6th place, Marbo on Jeskai Glitters Affinity. And this looks like the only red they're playing is Thoughtcast, so they've got Ren's Resolves and they've got Synthesizers. And only 3 Thraben Inspectors. They didn't listen to any of us, but they are playing Glint Hawks because they are a synthesizer version. In 5th place, Forrester F on Jeskai Ephemerate. In 4th place, Make It Right on Mono Red Koldatha, putting down Boggles and picking up the burn spells. I am a fan. As a member of the Boggles to Burn spells path in the pipeline.
I diverged from that. I started with Boggles and just went.
And you just went into, I just want to play long games.
Yeah, what if I gave myself
Out-decision my
agency?
opponent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would've thought?
In 3rd place, Out Zero on Blue Black Fairies. Another Blue Black Fairies player in 2nd place, piloted by Niederschatten. And in 1st place, Blue Black Control in the hands of Captain Tsubasa. Let's take a look at our winning list.
Card I'd like to talk about because
Go for it.
I actually got asked about this card this week.
Go for it.
from
My
one of our-
internet
one-
is being
from one of our listeners.
annoying.
Single copy of Extract a Confession.
Ooh.
Is that main board?
Single copy.
What does that do? I don't even know what that does, man.
It's
from
the,
MKM.
It's the Edict card. It says Extract a Confession, 1 in the black for sorcery. As you cast this, you may collect evidence 6. Each opponent sacks a creature if evidence was collected. Instead, each opponent sacks a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control.
It makes sense because edicts aren't the best right now because we have this core package going around of these 16 white creatures you may have heard about.
Yeah.
And 8 of them are just 1-mana 1/2s that they will gladly sack to an edict effect, like
Exactly.
Tithing Blade or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool. You get the out of, all right, sacrifice your glitters creature. It is a sorcery too, which is of note.
Yeah, I mean, so is Chainer's Edict or whatever.
True. Very
but-
true. And so is
But
Tithing Blade.
also being able to hit something specific as you know, like the glitters itself, or something like an Avenging Hunter from Gardens or something like that.
And
Yeah, it's trading the 2-for-1 nature of Chainer's Edict with the flashback for the ability to get something bigger
also not on
and a second in the board.
the turbo. So no like thought scours or mental notes. So with that, they opted not to play Gurmag Angular 2, just the Tolarian Terror, counting Vincents and Sorceries in the graveyards. But they have 2 Murray Mystics and 2 Thorn of the Black Roses as well, since they're playing the slower, more blue-black control fairies-esque game plan without the fairies.
I like this.
Just like same instant suite as the fairies, or pretty similar at least.
Yeah, this looks really solid.
For sure.
2 Spell Pierce.
Like we've said, like Stuff Out is in a really good place. Drown in Sorrow in a really good place in the meta. So for sure, I'm gonna catch you on this.
Solid list.
Nice. I want to take a quick peek at 4th place from Make It Right, their Mono Red Koldatha list. This is kind of following a similar trend from last weekend, where folks are trimming a couple of the creatures, putting a Fire Blast back in, playing 1 or 2 End the Festivities in the main, and playing around with more of the impulse draw effects like Reckless Impulse. So Make It Right's list is running 2 End the Festivities in the main and 2 Reckless Impulse, trimming on 2 Blast Runners and a Chain Lightning, probably something else in here too. But it looks sweet, you know. So this trend is continuing to some extent. I'm always a sucker for Fire Blast, as everyone knows.
No.
Whoa. We were talking a little bit about this Jeskai Glitters deck,
Yeah.
Thomas, and I was taking a closer look at it, and I see, like you said, there's only 3 Thraben Inspectors, but they brought back 4 Frogmites. So we're Frogmiting back up, just have the 0 mana, hopefully, or 1 mana, 2/2 body, and that's something you can pick back up with the Glint Hawks. Not the best thing in the world, but it's something that is doable. And they're also playing 4 Rin's Resolves. I don't know if you said that or not, but at most, their most expensive card they could hit is 2 mana and all that glitters, unless a Mirror Enforcer is too big or too much to cast at the current point.
Yeah.
So it's kind of going back to the more traditional list that we started seeing.
Yeah, that first broke out several months ago.
For sure. This has probably a lot more digging power than the blue-white decks. I don't know. I feel like this is the kind of version I like a little bit more. It's weird they're on 4 Springleaf drums with only 2 Ornithopters and 3 Inspectors, because it's kind of harder to turbo out stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you still need your artifacts to lower your Frogmites, don't get me wrong. But
I think I'd like to swap the numbers. I'd play 3 drums and 4 synthesizers. I think I don't know, but I feel like any less than 4 experimental synthesizers is like a cardinal sin.
yeah, like, what are you doing? Go in all. Go in all.
It's I mean, according to you and I, Cameron, it's the best card in Pauper.
And of course we're correct.
Yeah, of course. Of course. We're 100% correct all of the time, obviously.
There was a top 32 deck by Kerblinski. It was Tortured Existence.
Ooh,
Mardu
Tortex?
Tortex. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So this used to be a Pauper staple. One of my friends back in South Dakota, when he was talking about Pauper, he was telling me how much he likes his Tortex decks and stuff like that. And he's like, it just feels like it's unplayable right now. Bam, here it is.
I actually think this card has gotten a little bit better as of probably in the last 2-3 months.
I just brought it up because I thought y'all are old heads and would like it. Y'all are boomers.
I like that.
And
I think that card is super sweet.
So for those who don't know, when we say Tortex, it's based around this mono black enchantment called Torture Existence. For 1 black, you get an enchantment. You pay a black, choose and discard a creature card. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand.
What value this card ensues is delightful.
You discard the creature card and you return a creature card to your hand. So it's kind of like a weird, I don't want to say recurring nightmare.
I was thinking that,
It's raised dead. It's just recurable raised dead.
You don't get card advantage necessarily, but you get the cards you want.
You do get some card advantage depending on what you discard.
What do you discard that gives you advantage?
The best card you can discard? Golgari Brown Scale.
Is that a creature?
Oh yeah.
This deck doesn't play it.
That was the card you used to discard. That was the value card you used to play.
That's the 1 green 2/2 with dredge 2, and it's whenever it leaves your graveyard you gain 2 life.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are
It's in my-
playing.
It was in my peasant cube.
It was.
They are playing 1 Samaritan Skeleton where you can pay 3 from your graveyard, return to your hand, and that's, I think, the only way. And with 4 Kitchen Imps and 3 Cauldron Familiars, that's like the only way you can actually turn
Cauldron
it into.
Familiar?
Yeah, this is the only way you can like turn it into real card advantage, because from Cauldron Familiar, it's playing 4.
No, hold up. Why is Cauldron Familiar there?
It's playing 4 Bart and Cal.
I'm not looking at this list.
I know,
It's Barter Cal.
Yeah, it's 3 and a white. When it enters battlefield or dies, or when you discard it, create a food token. There we go. That's pretty cool.
There's your value.
Oh,
There we
my
go.
God. They printed Cauldron Familiar at Common in a Jumpstart set.
They sure did.
Is that? Did you just notice that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that card's
did.
been
Is that
around-
why
the
you're
card's been
having
around
external
for a while.
crisis?
I did not know that it got printed at Common in a Jumpstart
Yeah, it's been around.
I was wondering. I thought when you were like,
what is going on?
It showed up. It showed up at our one of our monthlies.
yeah,
I believe Mr. John Burr played it actually.
I know Colt has messed around with the Tortured Existence decks as well.
I love good torture existence. So yeah, the goal was you could just dredge. You could dredge the brown scale back in the day and just put it back in your hand, and then you mill over creatures when you've dredged, and then you just discard the thing, and just in a cycle, just like, I'm just gonna get this brown skull back every turn, gain a million
Pretty
life.
sick.
And this is such a hard deck to explain. You're
Oh,
probably
yeah.
better off going to Kerblinski's YouTube channel and checking out how it works, or looking at the list for yourself, because it plays a lot of obscure cards, and I'm not going to read a bunch of obscure cards out. We don't want to be the podcast that, as much as we are already, that just burst out magic name cards.
But yeah, no, that's a very old Pauper card. Glad to see it's kind of making its way back in just a little bit, even if just a little bit.
Just top 32 is pretty good. It barely missed top 16, so.
Shall we move on to our next challenge?
Let's go.
Y'all ready?
Let's go.
Y'all ready for this?
All right, second challenge. Sunday, March 31st. This is our 70-player challenge. In 8th place, Lenny on Golgari Dredge. In 7th place, Walker735 on Jeskai Glitter's Affinity. In 6th place, Jessica by Alexis F on Green White Boggles. In 5th place, our boy Nick Norman on Golgari Control, which I believe is Gardens. In 4th place, Jose Guillermo, also on Green White Boggles. In 3rd place, Probos is on Orzhov Pestilence.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
Probos is
I just want to hear you say it again.
You're doing the best you can.
Orzhov Pestilence.
I'm sorry, what was that card you just said?
Pestilence.
I'm sorry, what year is it?
This deck says Orzhov Blade.
This is Orzhov Pestilence.
Oh, no. I just wanted to hear you say it again because I love that card.
In 2nd place, Mogged, switching it up a little bit, playing some Dimir Terror. And in 1st place, Andrea94, also playing Dimir Terror. Let's take a look at our finalists lists here.
I know the winner. Again, no terror. I like to point it out.
This is
every
like
time.
basically the same list.
Yeah, this
of the
looks-
winning list from the Saturday.
I think it is because we got
looks
the one.
like the same list.
No, this one has.
Yeah, it still has the extract. No, this is. I think this is the 75.
Yep, there it
It's
is.
a mirror or copied
I think it's the
75.
exact
Did the other one
75.
have unexpecting things on the main board as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. This
single,
looks.
single copy with 2 spell pierces. Yeah.
Well, let's not talk about the same thing twice. Then
Obviously, the deck is busted.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
it's still good. It's kind of weird because we kind of had this terror takeover when it first got printed, when Cryptic Serpent first got printed, and then it
Or
kind of
downshifted.
printed for us.
Printed
Then
into
it kind of hid back in the woods. And why Glitter's got popular again. This is getting popular, which I wonder why that is. You have the snuff outs and all the
you just have
interaction.
much better interaction for glitters
yeah.
as opposed to mono blue, where you just have to like counter it and call it good. The second place list for Mogged, he is on Anglers instead of the Monarch creatures, and is only playing 1 Murmuring Mystic. And is playing stuff like Mental Note, Thought Scour,
Deep Analysis.
Brainstorm, Deep Analysis, just trying to turbo out the Terror and or the Angler as quickly as possible.
Hippo, what's so funny over there? You're giggling, a little schoolgirl.
It's
What's
a
up?
Pestilence deck. I don't know.
Oh,
Pestilence
okay.
is sweet.
Let's
All right,
talk about it. Oh, when I first saw this deck, it was listed as Orzhov Blade, and I'm like, and I saw its creature suite, which is just. Let me pull it up. Somebody tell me the creatures.
8 Inspectors, and then 3 Guardian of the Guild Pact.
And so I just saw that first.
What is Guardian of the Guild Pact, James?
Guardian of the Guild Pact is 3 and a white for a 2/3 with protection from a mono-colored.
Protection from mono.
Do you know what that combos really well with?
Basilisk Gate.
That is true.
Can't
Do
block
you
it.
like to know what else that combos really well with?
Attacking. The combo of your opponent's at
probably
20.
this Pestilence.
Does anybody know what Pestilence does?
Let's read Pestilence.
Shall we? All right, so Pestilence from all the way back in Alpha.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good times.
2 black for an enchantment. It says at the beginning of your end step, if no creatures are on the battlefield, sacrifice Pestilence.
That's not pretty good.
We haven't got to the best part yet.
Oh, okay.
For a single black, deal 1 damage to each creature and each player. Turns out this is a monocolored card, and it does not affect Guardian of the Guild Pact.
So you're telling me for 4 mana, for
Actually,
2
for
black, I can cast Time Walk for my opponent? It's a joke. It's a joke. I'm sorry.
Well, not
The
when you got all
silence.
these inspectors gumming up the ground.
Get out of here.
Anyways.
Okay.
No, that's my bit. You can't use my bit.
So, anyways, this is just a nice little, like, also has a bunch of trinkety artifacts in the deck. It's also got
He's back.
Ichor Wellsprings, Limbus's Candy Trails. But yeah, the main combination of the deck is to have both Guardian of the Guild Pact and Pestilence together. You will never get rid of the Pestilence as long as the Guardian of the Guild Pact is on the board.
When I was going through his challenge list, it was listed as Orzhov Blade, as I was saying, and I just saw the creature suite with the 8 Inspectors and 3 Guardian of the Guild Pack. No core Skyfishers, no Glint Hawks. I'm like, what the hell is this person doing? And when I get down, I see Pestilence. I'm like, oh, this is not an Orzhov Blade deck. Like, yes, you're playing deck. Tithing Blade, but you're not playing core Skyfisher or Glint Hawk. Pick it back up. You are a Pestilence deck first.
Love Pestilence. Shout out to our buddy Devin. Devin's also a big lover of Pestilence too.
Yeah,
he's got some beta copies of Pestilence sitting in the wings, waiting to be sleeved.
You're telling me Devin owns expensive cards?
Crazy, I know. Anyways, so yeah, Pestilence making a cool resurgence for the weekend. That's always nice to see. Something old and fun.
The Gardens deck is that red splash for the sideboard, Ancient Grudge, Pyroblast. Other than that, I don't know how many times we can talk about Gardens in a different way.
Actually, this Gardens deck's kind of cool. It's got 2 Campfire in the main. That's kind of cool.
I do like Campfire.
That's like when in Modern, when Murktide was around, people are like, oh, we like have this new innovating list. We cut 2 Ledger Shredders, or we cut 2 Dragon's Rage Channelers, and we're playing
Ledger Shredder.
Yeah, or something like that. You know?
Yeah, the same thing. That's just a card I have been a fan of since they've these lists have started playing, or any of these lists started even touching that card.
This Glitters deck, Just Guy Glitters, piloted by Walker735. We're seeing 3 Thraben Inspectors again. 1 Novice, 2 Thraben, doesn't really matter which is which, but we're not seeing Glint Hawk or Frogmites, but instead we're seeing 4 Ardent Recruits, which is that 1 mana 1/1, and if you control 3 or more artifacts, it's +2/+2, so hopefully it'll be a 1 mana 3/3. A little Wild Nikado action, get in there. And is this the same pilot?
It's playing Glint Hawks.
Oh, did I say, I meant to say Frogmites, no Frogmites.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
I'm glad you catch that, because like...
No, I think you did say Frogmite, but...
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I will say you're right, because my brain just becomes mush sometimes.
That's okay.
You feel me there.
That's all right. I mean, you guys didn't stop the podcast for me, so, it's whatever.
Yeah, why would we?
Yep. You don't need me.
The show must go on.
Yep.
We got
cool. Okay.
The Boggles takeover. It looks like Boggles.
Yeah,
Boggles be boggling.
Yeah, nothing. So the 4th place list is playing 3 gut shots in the sideboard, which is pretty cute. But outside of that, just Boggles be boggling.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a quick shout out in the dredge list to my boy Rubble Belt Maverick from MKM, just making it into the kind of part of the stock list at this point, which is pretty sick.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
For those who don't know, it's a green mana for a 1/1. Enters battlefield, you surveil 2, and if it's in your graveyard, you can pay a green mana, exile it from your graveyard, and put a ++1 counter on something. Just a bunch of value for 1 mana.
Such a sweet card.
And it's a detective, for those who care about drafting MK.
We have more white decks in this top 8 than we do blue decks, which we kind of talk about, or you hear, Pauper is run by the blue decks. But with this...
Where do you hear this? Who says these things?
Everybody.
Who's everybody?
Twitter.
That's not everybody.
Our rival podcast.
We have rivals?
Oh, they're pretty cool.
I
They're
like,
not.
I didn't know we had rivals.
Go.
I have no beef with any other podcast. I make that be known.
Casting Commons. They're from the EU, the UK, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Guess that's not Europe, is it anymore?
It is technically a part of the continent Europe.
Yes.
It is not part of mainland Europe.
No.
And they did not like to consider themselves a part of the EU, but they are, in fact, European.
Pleasant Kenobi's not here, so let's not get too much in Brexit. But anyway.
I got to be a part of him actually giving someone a mouthful, having a conversation about that at the Frodo party in Barcelona. It was awesome.
Sick plug.
And he and Hannah were just nerding out about their tattoos and stuff.
That's cool. That's really cool.
It was hilarious.
Interesting character.
Yes.
Our rivals, Casting Commons. Yeah. I've heard them say, I'll listen to them sometimes because they're cool dudes, but them kind of talk about blue has been the dominant color in Pauper, which I can understand.
I do actually think it's the best.
Yeah. Especially historically.
But we're starting to see this white creature package take over.
It's true.
Oh, these white creatures.
We're gonna see that in the next challenge.
What are those?
Too.
I don't know, man. Some dorks talked about them for 40 minutes or 30 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe rewind a little bit.
Next challenge.
Let's do it. All right, this is our final challenge. Second one on Sunday, March 31st. We got 56 players. Quick shout out in 9th place, SKP Chino on Gruel Panza.
The takeover.
In 8th place, GN42 on Old Trusty Familiars. In 7th place, Jonah C18043 on Blue White Glitters Affinity. In 6th place, Walker735 running it back with Jeskai Glitters. In 5th place, Medvedev on Green White Boggles. In 4th place, Sorry I'm So Tilted on Blue White Glitters Affinity.
I think I found my best friend.
In 3rd place, Casa on Cawgates.
There we are.
In 2nd place, Adrian the Hero 04 on Rakdos Madness. And in 1st place, Bolivo, Tiago Saporito, on Boros Synthesizer, but really, it's an All That Glitters deck. This deck is awesome. I was looking at this when we were talking about the package earlier of just like the synth lists that, do they want all 8 inspectors? Do they, like, you certainly can, and I think that would be my starting point. But this list, this innovation,
It wants to
they're
split the
playing.
difference.
They're splitting the difference a little bit. They have all the Skyfishers and all the Glint Hawks, but they only have 3 of each inspector, and they have freed up those spots for 2 Ginger Brute, which I kind of like. Just like it's another randomly, it's an artifact for Glint Hawk if you really need it to be, but primarily it's a really good target to put your glitters on, which
For
is something
sure.
that the other glitter decks have been doing for a while.
That, and it also gives you that little bit of extra life gain if you need it to.
Sure. Yep. I'm no stranger. I'm no stranger to the versatility of Ginger Brute.
Yeah.
Because they
tell,
basically the here is, do you want to play Gingerbird or Core Skyfisher is really, I think, the question. I'm sorry, not Gingerbird or Core Skyfisher. Gingerbird or Seeker of the Way. That's what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Yeah, and this one looks like it wants to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
I guess we're seeing Borovsent turn into a more fast Getcha deck more than, like, don't get me wrong, it's still grindy with the Bar Battle Fist and the Limbuses and experimental synthesizers you can pick up with your 8 Hawks flyers. Your 8 flyers, there we go, that's a better word. But like I said, it is a little bit more aggressive. They're leaning into the glitters a little bit more with those Ginger Brutes. And it's funny, I saw the 6 Thraben Inspectors. I'm like, hey, that's more like it. What did we free up? It's like, oh, 2 Ginger Brutes. We're just getting closer to all that glitters, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just another way to build the deck as opposed to something that the decks are kind of like morphing into as a whole. I think this is just this specific player's take. And it, you know, they had a top 16 finish in, I saw their name in the list from the last challenge as well. And they took this one down for the trophy. So it obviously served them well. Going up on, like, they're playing the full, like, I think 3 Batterfist is more than we've seen. This certainly 3 Wedding Invitation, I feel like, is more than we've seen. I think we see like 1 to 2 of either of these, and so maxing those out for your Skyfishers and Glint Hawks is really cool. This just looks really clean. 4 synthesizers busted.
Who knew?
Yeah, I mean, we did. No, this list is great. This is a lean, mean fighting machine.
For sure.
Also pretty cool to see Rakdos Madness take 2nd place.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Nothing too crazy.
Happened a couple weeks ago as well. Did pretty well, a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
They got 1 copy of Demand Answers. Let's go.
Pretty good.
Demand some answers out of you. Whoa, this is... Oh, I meant to click on Familiars, and I clicked on Affinity. I'm like, this looks nothing like Familiars.
Sorry I'm So Tilted's Blue-White Affinity list. It's the one I was referencing earlier in the episode. They just have the 8 Inspectors, none of the Flyers, because they're leaning more just on the Ornithopter, Gingerbrute, Moon Circuit, Hacker sort of stuff. So they kind of want to play in the combat step as opposed to just like bouncing stuff. So it's sorcery speed, etc., etc. You also do have to kind of balance your human to non-human count with of one mind in a deck like this, I think.
For sure. And those are like the more classic lists that we've started seeing pop up more when it first took over the modern challenges a couple weeks ago, like shaving the frogmites.
Modern challenges?
Or why do I always do that?
That's okay. It's okay.
Scald me.
It's been a long day.
Never mind.
Cool. Is there anything else you guys want to highlight?
I think my brain's mush. I don't know.
My brain's pretty mushy too.
Mine's also mush.
All right, let's get our mush brains out of here and sign off. We are going to do a mailbag episode for our 20th episode anniversary. So if you have personal questions, as personal as you want, if you want to ask about why my life is failing, if you want to ask where we're from, Pauper questions, Magic questions, Pro Tour questions for Pro Tour competitor Thomas Gunn, Pro Tour winner, not winner, Pro Tour
2 Pro Tour game.
Ask
winner.
us questions, personal, Pauper, Magic, whatever. How Hippo got his nickname, we already said that. Origin stories, whatever, man. Ask us questions.
We're just giving it a try.
For sure.
Yeah, send us some questions. Send in multiple questions if you have.
You could have these questions to us. You can DM us on Twitter, which is link in the description, or you could email them to us at our email, commongroundmtgpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost just said my actual email out loud. One second. Common Ground Pod. Oh gosh, we butchered that.
No, you're fine. We already got it.
commongroundmtgpod@gmail.com.
All right, cool.
That's what you said.
Okay, email them there.
Yeah.
It'll be in the description.
Quick, go before your brain explodes.
Oh, yo, we got some emails already. Cool. Oh,
let's go.
Did you just send that one?
I did.
Okay.
James literally just sent in a quest.
I read it before the name too. Like that would be from there.
Awesome. So yeah, we're episode 20. We're gonna try and do mailbag episodes. So send us some questions. Episode 19 next week. We should have the full spoiler out for Outlaws of Thunder Junction.
We already do.
So no, we'll have that fully out in 2 days from now.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be out by the time we record for next week. So we're gonna talk about do a similar episode like we did for Murders at Karlov Manner, and we're gonna we'll each bring a list of cards, see what we think could potentially see some play, and see which ones we get right, which ones we just don't see at all.
Alrighty, let's get away.
Yeah, let's do it.
Get
Hell
away.
yeah. Thanks for listening, fam. We appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you,
Always.
everyone, for being here.
Love y'all.
So much love.
Always.
All of
Peace.
it.
Bye.
One mana creature that makes a treasure. Yeah, that would be wild.